It's cold out. So, reviewing the, what did I just get on here? Cooper Snow tires, the 285 75 R16 Cooper Discover M&S on, this is a 1999 Chevy half-ton 4x4 regular cab short box. Now, these tires are arguably, technically, whatever you want to say, a size too big for the truck. The truck's vibrating because I took it off-road. There's snow packed in the wheel. But I wanted the bigger tires on here because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go off-road. So 285, that number is technically the width of the tire. And then, I think this part I could be wrong, 75% of the width is the height of the tire. Meaning just the actual from where the tire would meet the rim to the top of the tire. 75% of the 285 millimeter width, follow me on that, is that section of the tire's height. So I don't know why they do that. Layman's terms, it's a 33 by 11.5 by 16. So they do awesome. I've always been a fan of these tires since I first had them on a truck probably 10 years ago. They're awesome. They really haven't changed the design much as far as I can remember over the last 10 years. And the reason why they work, as you can see, they've got so many sipes on them, and they've got really deep grooves, two really deep grooves on two sections of the tire. So we've got this deep groove here, and then the same one on the other side. And those help allow the tread blocks in the sipes to sink down through the snow so that that snow can be displaced properly so that the rubber can meet the hard surface of the road, whether that hard surface be the actual road or in this case it's a mix of, I mean, this part right here is probably ice. Let's see if we can, I don't know. Pretty, yeah, it's like I got it to break loose a little bit, and I'm only in two-wheel drive right now. I generally always run two-wheel drive in driving winter conditions. A lot of people, you hear them complain like, oh, you people with these four-wheel drive trucks think you can just do, 70 miles an hour all the time. Well, there's a lot of, there's truth to that. If you take a four-wheel drive vehicle in general, it's going to be heavier, right? It's going to be heavier than your two-wheel drive. Like, this is a Honda CR-V. That thing right there is probably, I bet it'd be one of the worst vehicles to drive in the snow because it's short, it's got a short wheelbase, it's got a high center of gravity, and those two, short wheelbase, high center of gravity on a vehicle, are some of the two worst combinations you can have on a vehicle. Now, if you put snow tires on, it's going to be a lot better. Snow tires make a huge difference, but it's probably not the best SUV for winter driving, for sure. So you've got more weight, you've got lower center of gravity on a truck, at least, right? You only have the cab. The rest of the weight is all below the cab, so you've got a lot more stability. With trucks, generally, we're going to talk stock vehicles here. They come with a small tire in comparison to the size and the weight of the vehicle when compared, especially to today's modern SUVs that all come stock with 20-inch rims and a wide 305 or bigger, like a 12-inch wide tire straight from the factory, okay? So you've got these smaller SUVs and cars in general too. If you look at like a Ford Taurus, for example, I think that's a good example, but a full-size car these days, their tires are not so much smaller than the tires they put on a 3/4 or a 1-ton or a half-ton pickup truck. height-wise and probably width-wise, they're probably the same, if not wider, on a car than they are on a truck. Okay, so you take a lighter vehicle, you put a wider tire on it that's pretty close to the same size. I bet you they're within an inch or so. You're increasing the surface area of which that tire needs to cut through. You want the tire to cut through and to really get as much ground pressure on the ground, on the pavement as possible to get good winter traction. Okay, so that's why trucks, SUVs, do much better in the snow, because they're heavier. They're at least, let's call it 6,000 pound vehicle. What is this guy doing? He's flashing his lights. I love people like this are just like, oh, I think his lights were shorting out. I thought he was literally like flashing. But you'll see people with flashing lights. If you flash your lights when you're on the road, I really gotta say, I think it's dangerous, because I think it creates more panic, it creates more stress in other drivers, because they see you or they see other drivers with, you know, their flashers on, their four-ways on, and it just creates more anxiety on the road. I see those people on the road who have their four-ways on, and I'm like, I either stay way back from them because I don't trust that they're going to make the right decision in the event of an accident, or they're incapable of doing that, or I pass them. I just get in front of them, like if it's on the freeway or something, like just get ahead of them. You want those people either behind you, or you want them, you know, stay way back. But in this, you know, call it judgmental, call it whatever, but those people, I don't know, you really just shouldn't be on the road driving if you're that nervous that you have to put your four-ways on. Pull over. I mean, to me, a car with your four-ways on, you're pulled over on the side of the road, either with a flat tire, broken down, stuck in a ditch or something. So I see four-ways on a car or a truck or whoever's driving it, and it's like they're stopped. I think they're a stopped vehicle, but so many people in blizzard conditions will put their four-ways on, and I think it's a dangerous thing to do, while you may think you're doing the right thing. And that's a complete arguable statement, so take it for what it's worth. That's my opinion. Back to the weight in the vehicle. So a little bit of physics here. You've got a larger vehicle, truck, 6,000 to 8,000 pounds, whether you're half ton all the way up to 3/4, 1 ton regular wheel. You've got roughly, I don't know what the PSI difference would be, but let's take, for example, my Duramax quad cab, 1 ton Duramax. It weighs, fully loaded of fuel, about 8,500 pounds. Okay, so you take those 4 tires. Each tire, it's a 265 width now. That's a narrow tire for that truck, or in comparison to the weight of that truck. Okay, 265 millimeters wide. It's about probably a 10-inch wide, 9.5-inch wide tire. You have roughly 2,000 pounds. I know the front's a little bit heavier, but I do have a fuel tank in the back. So let's just call it 2,000 pounds on each tire that covers a surface area of 9 inches, let's say, by like 4 inches wide. So that PSI difference is substantially greater than that of, say, a Ford Taurus or a newer SUV with a wider tire, a taller tire, GMC Arcadia, Ford Explorer, things like that. They have a larger contact area. So you're talking a lighter PSI that's trying to push down to reach traction, to reach a good surface that has traction, whether that's pavement or ice. Now, ice is one of those arguable concepts as well. Like, you don't have traction on ice. Well, if you take and glare glass, like ice skating rink ice, yeah, you don't have traction on that. But like this, for example, there's ice underneath here, but there's just enough snow. The plow guys did a good job. There's just enough snow that helps pack into that ice to not really make it move, not let the snow move from the ice, which helps give you traction on the snow. So if you have, basically, I'm going on a rant here. You have greater PSI on the tire, aka a larger truck. you are able to go faster, safer than a small vehicle, a small car would be. You're able to stop better because you've got more weight on that tire. You've got, you have bigger brakes on the vehicle that are better capable of stopping the vehicle. You've got a smaller tire overall in comparison to the SUV or the full-size car on that vehicle, on that truck as possible. So I'm not a physics teacher by any means, but it makes sense in my mind that, yeah, you are able to go faster, and that's why you see trucks going faster. They handle a lot better. I've driven, obviously, my truck, this truck. This truck does not handle nearly as well on these roads, on these snowy roads, than my big truck does. Because it's shorter, it's got the short wheelbase, it's lighter, and now it has these larger, wider tires on here. They are snow tires, so it does have a bit of an advantage there. But that's basically it. Overall, these tires are fantastic. I'll show you you can see they've got this sipe here. It's a good 1/2 inch thick. They got a sipe here, sipe there. They're soft, they're pliable. You got these little sipes here that flex and grab. So Cooper Discoverer M&S's, they're a load range E. I'm going to take them off-road and give you guys an off-road review on the tires as well. Probably air them down, see how they do. But I took it over there and they did awesome. I can roll 2-wheel drive. There's a little trail that runs over there. 2-wheel drive to a hill, but stay tuned. We'll do an off-road adventure on them. So thanks for watching.